it's Sophie, and today we'll be reading One Crazy Summer by Rita Williams Garcia, a New York Times bestselling author. Remember, this is not my book. Cassius Clay Clouds. Good thing the plane had seatbelts. We'd been strapped in tight before takeoff. Without them, that last jolt would have been enough to throw Vianetta into orbit, and Fern would cross the aisle. Still, I anchored myself and my sisters as best as I could to bridge us through whatever came next. Those clouds weren't through with us yet. The default another Cassius Clay, and left to right jab to the body of our being 727. Vianetta streaked, and then struck her thumb in her mouth. Fern bit down on Miss Pattycake's pink plastic arm. I kept my whimper to myself. It was bad enough. My insides were squeezed and stretched out like a monkey's grinder accordion. No need to let anyone know how frightened I was. I took a breath, so when I finally opened my mouth, I'd sound like myself, not if I was like some scared rabbit. It was just the clouds bumping, I told my sisters. Like they bumped over Detroit and Chicago and Denver. Vianetta pulled her thumb out of her mouth and her head in her lap. Fern held on to Miss Pattycake. They listened to me. We pushed our way up in the clouds. The clouds got mad and we pushed back. Like you and Fern fighting over red and gold crayons. I didn't know about the clouds fighting and pushing for a fact, but I had to tell my sisters something as long as Vianetta kept her feet to one streak and Fern kept hers to biting Miss Pattycake. I kept on spinning straw. Everything all right? That's mainly what I do. Keep Vianetta and Fern in line. The last thing Pa and Big Ma wanted to hear was how we made a grand ego spectacle of ourselves in 30,000 feet up in the air around all these white people. You know how Papa is. I told them, no way he'd put us on a plane if it were dangerous. They halfway believed me. Just as I had soft plastic arm out of Fern's mouth, those Cassius Clay fighting clouds through our 727 other cab. Big Ma, that's our Pa's mother, says Cassius Clay. Pa says, man had mad Allie or just Allie. I slide back from the fourth Cassius to Manhattan, whatever picture comes to mind. Cassius Clay, you hear the clash of fists like the plane getting jabbed and punched. With Mad Alley, you see a mighty mountain, greater than Everest, and no one can knock down a mountain. All the way to the airport, Pa tried to act like he was dropping off 3 sacks of wash at the laundromat. I'd seen through Pa. He's no Vianetta putting on performances. He has only 1 or 2 phrases, nothing hidden, nothing exaggerated. Even though it had been his idea that we fly out to Oakland and see Cecile, Pa never said how exciting our trip would be. He said that seeing Cecile was something whose time had come, that it had to be done. Just because he decided it was time for us to see her didn't mean he wanted us to go. My sisters and I had stayed up practically all night in California dreaming about what seemed like the other side of the world. We saw ourselves riding wild waves on surfing boards, picking up oranges and apples off fruit trees, filling our autograph books with signatures from movie stars. We see soda shops. Even better, we saw ourselves going to Disneyland. We had watched airplanes lift up and fly off into blue sky as we neared the airport. Every time another airliner flew overhead, leaving a trail of white and gray smoke, Big Ma fanned herself and asked, Jesus, why? Big Ma had kept quiet long enough. Once inside the terminal, she had let it all hang out, she told Pa. I don't mind saying it, but this isn't right. Coming out to Owlwood and putting these girls on a plane so Cecile can see what she's left behind. If she wants to see them, let her get on an airplane and fly out to New York. Big Ma doesn't care about President Kennedy's face on a $50 or the airport is now officially named after him. She calls the airport by its old way. It war. Don't get me wrong. Big Ma was mad and sad as anyone. Once when they killed the president, she had no pity on. However, things are stamped in Big Ma's mind as how they will be now and forever. Outwood will never be JFK. Cassius Clay will never be Manhattan Alley. Cecile will never be anything other than Cecile. I can't say I blame Big Ma for feeling the way she did. I certainly didn't forget Cecile. When Cecile left, Fern wasn't on the bottle. Could walk but wanted to be picked up. I was 4 going on 5. Pa wasn't sick, but he wasn't doing well either. On 5, Pa wasn't sick, but he wasn't doing well either. That was Big Ma. Big Ma came up from Alabama to see us. Even though Big Ma read her scripture daily, she hadn't considered forgiveness where Cecile concerned. Cecile wasn't that what the Bible meant when it spoke of love and forgiveness, only judgment. And believe me, Big Ma had plenty of judgment for Cecile. So even if Cecile showed up on Papa's welcome mat, Big Ma would swing the front door open. That's why Big Pa had put us on a plane to Oakland. Either Cecile wouldn't come back to Brooklyn or she wasn't welcome. Honestly, I don't think Pa chose between Big Ma and Cecile after Cecile left him and us. Even after Cecile proved Big Ma right, how can you send them to Oakland? Oakland's nothing but a boiling pot of trouble cooking. All the riots Pa has been respectful way of ignoring Big Ma. I wanted to smile. He's good at it. Okay, I shrill a voice and announced the departing flight to Oakland. All 3 of us had butterflies. Our first airplane ride went above Brooklyn, above New York, above the world. Although, I could at least keep still by Nana and Fern stamped out of their feet like holy rollers at a revival meeting. Big Ma had grabbed them by the first scruff of fabric she could get a hold of them, bent down and told them to act right. There were too many of us in the waiting area and too many of them. We're starting. I'd taken a quick count of habit. Netta, Fern, and I were the only Negro children, and there were 2 soldier boys in green uniforms that didn't look any older than Uncle Darrell high school cap and one gown one day. Army boots and basic training 4 days later. 2 teenage girls with afros, maybe they're college students. One lady dressed like Jackie Kennedy, carrying a small over suitcase. Big Ma had also scattered around in the waiting room. I knew she worried that we'd be mistreated in some way, and sought out a brown face to look out of us. Big Ma turned her nose up for the college girls with afros, in favor of the Negro lady, the square sunglasses and snappy suit, toting the equally snappy oval bag. Big Ma made eye contact with her. When she lighted up, she told the Negro Jackie Kennedy, "These my grandbabies. You look out for them, you hear?" The snappy Negro lady said. Had been nice enough to smile, but hadn't returned the look that Big Ma expected. But Big Ma had expected to look Negro people silently pass each other. She'd expect this. A stranger said, as if she was a neighbor, "They're as good as my own. I'll make sure they don't misbehave or be an embarrassment to the Negro race." A blank movie star smile had been passed to Big Ma. That lady had only been looking out for her plane seat. Papa had already given me the paper with the phone number to our house, which I knew by heart, and the phone number to his job. He had already told me that his job number was for emergencies only and not for "how are you doing" chats. Last night he had also given me an envelope with $200 in $10 and $20 bills to put in my suitcase. Instead, I folded the bills and stuffed them in my tennis shoe before we left Herkimer Street. Walking on that mountain of money felt weird at first, but at least I knew the money was safe. Pod kissed Bayonetta and Fern and told me to look after my sisters, even though looking after him would have been nothing new. I kissed him and said, "I will, Papa." When the line to the ticket taker had begun to move, Big Ma had gotten teary, mushed up as in her loose fitting Bayonetta in green moo dress. "Better come on and get some lovin' now." She hadn't had to finish the rest about how this might be the last time in a long while for kissing and hugging. A flash of memory told me Cecile wasn't one for kissing and hugging. I had a lot of those memories clicking before me, projector slides out of the dark, lots of pictures, smells, and sounds of flashing in and out, mostly about Cecile, going all the way back. And what I didn't remember clearly, Uncle Daryl was always filled in. At least Uncle Daryl remembers Cecile kindly. Okay, so we stopped on page 7. Come back again next week for the next video. Bye.